Thank you for PEN to shortlist for this award. And I'm Ali Kazim, Mr. Kazim, one of the consultants who's leading SACU and part of the team. Misty Olia, one of our advanced nurse practitioners. I have to say at the beginning that what we achieved throughout this, it didn't happen less with the work of the whole team, of SACU team, as well as the patients, because we use the patient a lot for their feedback regarding how we can improve and work with this. So it is our journey. This is the team. Well, we've grown since then. We've got more members. It's difficult to take pictures of people. They just refuse. This is just literally we drag 10 people into that. And I'm just hiding in the back. You see that I'm hiding behind somebody else there. So I don't think we can have a new one again. But anyway, so once upon a time, there was a trust. It's an acute trust somewhere in Cheshire. And we are in an awkward position, to be fair, because we are somewhere in between Manchester and Liverpool and Stoke. We take medical students from Manchester University, we take trainees from Mersey, we integrate with Stoke regarding our referrals and everything else. And if you draw a line around us, about this 15-mile radius, whatever they call it, we literally have nothing around us. So we have to cope with what we have. We can't, for example, close our A&E, we can't do anything from that point of view. But at the same time, we've been under pressure regarding savings and everything else like any other trust has problem with. So why ambulatory care? Why are we thinking about ambulatory care? Well, we had Medical ACU who did won last year one of the PEN Awards here, and we take their point of view. And like anywhere else, we had A&E pressures. We've been struggling with that because, as all you know, the first thing happens if you won't save money, take beds off, and then you end up with no beds available, patient referred from GP admissions, you go to A&E long queues, and it's a vicious circle from that point. We did have what we call a surgical assessment area, which we had to close because need for beds and savings. And at the end, it challenged surgical take. You know, why would you? Everybody has a surgical problem, has to come into a bed. Not everyone needs a bed. Not everybody comes with abdominal pain, needs to be in a bed. And we challenge that. You know, why everybody has to see a junior trainee first and then build up through the system. At the same time, while all that been going on, we've had a new theatre and ITU complex built, and the old theatre and HDU was empty. So we eyed that and said, oh, that's interesting. We found a bit of money somewhere with a lot of begging, and we managed to create what we call a SACU, which is literally next door to SAU, and it's essentially just chairs, no beds, nothing at all. So nobody can sleep in that. Well, talk about that later. And we've had a mission which to provide high quality emergency care safely and appropriately for our patients without need a bed, because that's simply no patient want to be in a bed. Everybody I see a patient SACU and I say, look, you need to come in, their face drops, they don't want to be in a bed, as simple as that. Including children, to be fair, nobody wants to be in a bed. Then Then we involved with SAC, which is Surgical Emergency Care Unit, and we were part of the launch point of view. We've had a lot of meetings, a lot of talk about the pathways and everything else. Helen Williams is going to kill me for the picture there. But make sure the video is all right. So I showed it to her. And we create flow diagram of patients, and we thought how that will go. And as you can see, we put the senior input, the consultant at the beginning. So patient comes in and the first patient they see is a consultant. So you can make decision early to say, does he need a bed? Does he need to come in or not? And that changed a lot. So the patient knows from the beginning what they need to happen. There is no about, I have to wait to see the consultant, I have to wait for him to see. You walk in, you see the AMP, had bloods done, and then the first person you see who decision making is your consultant or somebody senior equivalent level from that point. And that's helped a lot. We had clear KPIs, and we keep monitoring that. We create our data sheet, which kept update regularly, and we keep an eye on that. That's really important, because if you need to do that, it's important to do this, because it's easy to lose sight of what you want. So how you do it? We engage with primary care. Our AMPs takes the call from the GP directly now. They discuss with the GPs and decide does he want to come in or not, and what's going to happen from that point. We did experience-based design. We use the staff and the patients. We called patients in who've been in SACU before, and we've asked them, what do you think about the service? What do you think we can change? Is there anything that we can actually improve from that point? How do you feel about that? Because ultimately, patient comes in as an emergency, they have an acute problem. The GP maybe told them you need to come in. It's life-threatening position. You see them and say, well, you're well. But how you provide that, how patients feel about it, that's really important from that perspective. We give them dedicated slots so patients don't wait a lot, and we engage with other specialties because we can't function on our own. We need radiology input, we need x-rays, we need CT scans, we need ultrasound scans. I can't make decisions without all these things to be done. We got virtual ward, which is managed by our AMPs. So somebody, for example, well enough to go home and come back, doesn't have to come back to the hospital. You can give them the next day. Are you well? Your scan is this. Everybody has to come back. As well as it's a reach out hand for them, so they know they're safe. If they want to speak to us, they can all call us back as well. We've got a flow coordinator, and we are trying to expand our AMP role. So our AMPs train them to IND of an abscess, for example, stuff which they can actually manage wounds, manage stuff which they can manage themselves. This is our feedback sheet. The patient designed, and and it's very helpful to do that. We designed that to capture the patient views, because that's really important from our point. We review that on regular basis, as well as we review our readmission rate. That's really important. So what impact? Significant reduction in discharge rate and length of stay. We saved 102 beds stays every month since we opened SACU, which is saving money. Waiting time to see a review has significantly gone down, as you can see. And as well, patients happy. Patients are happy because they listen to, and they don't stay in. They don't want to stay in. As simple as that. And that's some our feedback that we've got from our patients. So what's next? What are we going to do? So number one, we're going to create an app for referral into SACU itself. So that helps our unit to take patients from within the wards. Patients need to go home and come back or something like that, as well as from A&E. And Misty's working on the other bit.
So, looking at the future and moving forward, as we expand as a team of advanced nurse practitioners, we're looking to kind of build our relationship. We have fairly good relationships with A&E as it is anyway, but looking to increase that patient flow and the patient experience, improve that patient experience by getting down into A&E, try and join their board rounds, see if there's any patients we can pull that might be sat in the corridor. We can do a quick triage, quick eyeball, and then say, right, SACU opens at midday. We could just take bloods while we're there with them, do what we can. We can order appropriate investigations while we're there, and they can come to SACU at midday, and everything's ready for either us to have a look at them or the senior clinician. And again, that is about building up those relationships with A&E and essentially improving that patient experience, so they're not sat in an A&E corridor for hours and hours, and they're being reassured that things have actually been done. Relocation of the unit, so we're hoping to relocate into a bigger area, into an area where we can't be bedded down. As happens with all pressures, bed pressures, we unfortunately at the moment have been bedded down, so we are running from an outpatient clinic, which is fine, it does the job, but it's not the ideal place. So the idea is to get into somewhere where they cannot put beds, and it will just be our unit, and we can kind of work from there. We can also expand and take patients. We have a lot of patients that have electrolyte imbalances that come back to the ward for electrolyte infusions, and again, that's patients sat in a day room all day without, a TV, anything interesting to do, and it's just boring and it's not fair for them. So it's coming to us, and we can do that quickly and move them out and get them home a lot quicker as well. And that's the surgical PIU really. So the GP engagement it's a continuous thing really. I think we're doing it for about a year or so, haven't we, taken the course? And I think the GPs are actually really, really welcoming of it, and a lot of them don't know the service is there. And the minute you answer the phone, they're also really helpful as well. They'll say, our nurses will take the bloods for you, I can do this and do that, and then you can just get the patient through. So it's just about getting that ambulatory care theme out there. And just not just the GPs as well. We've got advanced practitioners in the community. We've got the North West Ambulance Service that could potentially refer patients through. So it's engaging everyone really, and that is the plan. We're trying to think big.
Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Somebody before the test.
No,